He was the absolute king in the operating room. Other doctors would be sweating buckets during surgery, but he'd just chill out listening to music, tapping his feet to the beat, totally relaxed and in his zone. All because Stephen had these hands that every doctor in the world was jealous of. With all the hospital doctors watching, Stephen pulled off another crazy difficult 9.8 level brain surgery. But right after he got off the operating table, an even tougher patient showed up. The person got shot in the head, and the main doctor already called it. They were dead. But when Stephen looked at the case, he saw things weren't like that at all. Since time was running out, Stephen had to skip the imaging guide and go for the impossible blind extraction instead. Thanks to his super steady hands, Stephen managed to pull the bullet out from all those nerves and did the impossible. Because of all this, Stephen had all the fame and money everyone wanted. So many trophies he couldn't even fit them anywhere. Drawers stuffed with luxury stuff. His mansion was right in the heart of downtown, and he'd roll out in million-dollar cars every time. But his fancy lifestyle got totally destroyed in one car crash. That rainy night came out of nowhere. Stephen was doing his usual thing, listening to patient reports, but didn't notice he was going faster and faster. Right when he looked down at the case file, the accident happened. In that moment, Stephen knew his life was as screwed as his hands. Even though the doctors later did everything to save his hands, he still couldn't even do basic stuff like grab things. Even worse, all those higher-ups who used to see him as their cash cow totally ditched him. Even after selling everything he owned, he couldn't see any hope of getting better. But there's always a way out, and by pure chance, this broken guy discovered some possibility of healing. Turns out this patient was diagnosed with high-level paralysis, but somehow with some magical power, got their ability to move back. When Stephen tracked this person down, they only mentioned one place, Kamar Taj. Holding on to his last bit of hope, Stephen went to this sacred place. But what was waiting for him was a bunch of thugs trying to rob him. But right then, this mysterious person suddenly showed up like some god coming down to save him. This guy's name was Mordo, and with his help, Stephen finally made it to the Kamar Taj he'd been dreaming about. But when he met the Ancient One, his last bit of hope disappeared too. Stephen thought he'd know some advanced medicine like cell regeneration, but who knew the Ancient One wanted him to get into religion? But right after that, the Ancient One totally flipped Stephen's 30 years of understanding, and with one slap, knocked his soul right out of his body. Not only that, she made him realize just how tiny he really was. Even though Stephen kept telling himself this was all an illusion, that super real feeling made him have to believe everything in front of him.
Teach me. No.